Hello everyone, in this quiz I'm going to go over the 4 different types of cell communication, showing you pictures of each type, and you have to figure out which type I'm describing or the picture is describing. I'm going to go over the 4 different types just quickly right now. Autocrine is when the cell produces the signaling molecule that goes back and activates some response in that cell. I call these cell to cell. These are ones that the cells are connected. You can see these membranes have a direct connection. I call them cell to cell, but you can see here they're just connecting in this location. Paracrine, this is also known as like short distance. This is when a molecule is going to be produced by one cell, travel a little bit, and then hit its target cell and have a response occur. And then endocrine, you can see the signaling molecules producing something that's going to travel along the bloodstream and then attach to the target cell. The big thing here is they're going a long distance. With that being said, let's get into these questions and show you each diagram. Here's our first one. You can see our first cell here is producing the signaling molecules that's going to travel a short distance, attach to the receptor, and it's going to create some cellular response here. If you haven't guessed it yet, this one's called paracrine. Here's our next one, and I can instantly see blood vessels here. Anytime you have a cell producing a signaling molecule going through the blood vessels, this is going to be endocrine or long distance. Now this one's a little tricky because it has inflammatory cell, but just ignore that. You can see the cell producing a signaling molecule that comes back and attaches to its own receptor. That's why this one is known as an autocrine signaling. All right, the first thing I'm seeing in this one is that we have a direct contact between two cells here. You can see like these signaling molecules, even though they're attached to the membrane, they're still a signaling molecule and there is a direct connection here. So this is cell to cell. All right, so we can see we have the plasma membrane, and this looks like a picture of 2 plant cells. These are known as plasmodesmata. They're just openings within the cell wall and cell membrane, but however, you can see these signal molecules traveling in through those gap junctions, these openings here. So that's going to be cell to cell since there is direct connection right here. Our next one, you can see our sending cell, our target cell. There is a little distance here. This one is going to be known as paracrine. Again, our cell is producing a molecule that attaches back to itself. This is known as autocrine. I can see blood, sending cells, receiving cells. This is endocrine or long distance. Here we have 2 cells. They're linked together. There is direct contact, so this is cell to cell. This one's a good one. This one's looking at a nerve impulse being transmitted from one cell to the next. We can see there is secretion of these signaling molecules and receiving here. This is going to be paracrine, but specifically this is synaptic. These are like nerve cells interacting with each other. Again, here's our cell. Here's the signal molecule being produced. It's coming back to itself. This is called autocrine. Here's our last one, and this is the tricky one. You can see that these signaling molecules, these signaling peptides, are going through the xylem of a plant, and they're traveling a long distance. I'm not sure if I would call this endocrine, but this is definitely a longer distance endocrine type of cell communication. So this is a long distance communication style.